Hey my friend, it's Cameron Malcolmson here, and in this video I just want to share with you a super cool idea on how to speak the language of money. So I learned this here from a great community that I'm going to leave a direct link to below, but really it all starts, there's 4 different parts to the language of money, and the very first part, it comes from the Bible. And when God created the world, He held off the rain because there was no man there to work the land. So when you think about this here, the very first part 1 of the language of money, when God created the world, He held off the rain because there was no man there to work the land. And when you look at work, there's a certain word for work, and that certain word actually means manage. So the first part of the language of money is management. So management actually is really the management, it's kind of like working the land. So it's key to understand that you have to be able to manage your resources. So that's your time, your money, your resources, you know, where your focus is, where you're putting your energy and things like that there. So it's very, very important to be able to manage your resources properly for the first part of the language of money. Now, keeping in mind now, management is key. So if you're not very good at managing your resources, you're not going to be able to speak the language of money. But if you're really good at management, then you'll be able to get more money, and with proper management of your resources. So it's very, very important to understand this here. The second part of the management of money is, let me think about it here. The second part of the language of money is it's called TWCGU. So TWCGU is kind of like managing your money. So when you make, say, $1,000, do you really spend all that $1,000? Well, you shouldn't really spend it all. You should actually diversify your money and put it into separate accounts. So say if you make $1,000 and you're making money online, you actually want to put some money into your tax account that you're saving to pay your taxes. So it's important. In the next account you want to have is your investment account. Now your investment account is where you take your money from that account and you put it into activities that's going to generate you more money. So for an instance, if you're online, you could take that money and you could put it into more traffic to bring more people to your business. So this is the next part. Then the next part, you know, you kind of want to have is like a charity account, and then you want to have a general account, and then you want to have your operations account. So an example of this would be in your tax account, depending on what your tax rate is in your country. You know, it could be 20%, it could be 30%, so you're going to put that into that account. Then the next account is your investing account, so you'll put, say, 10% into your investing account. Then your charity account, you want to put maybe 10% into there. And then your general account, where you spend your money, you know, you can put 30% in there depending on your living costs and stuff like that. And then in your operations account, then you want to put, say, 20% in there. So really, when you make $1,000 or £1,000, you don't really spend £1,000, but you can spend, say, if it's 30% in your general account, you can spend £300. So this is the second part of the language of money. Now, very, very important to understand that there is whenever you make £1,000, you don't actually spend all the £1,000. You can really only spend, for in this example, if it was 30%, you can really only spend £300 out of your general account. Okay. Now, the third part, when you speak the language of money, is really, this comes back from the biblical times as well. Now, it starts off with being fruitful, then you want to replenish, then there's another word and another word which I can't remember off the top of my head right now, but basically when we put this into simple terms, is you want to produce, then reproduce, then you want to distribute, and then you want to control. So this idea comes from the Bible. So say, for an example, if you're really, really good at singing, so this is what you produce. You're a really, really good singer. Now, what happens if, say, you go out and you do your singing gigs and stuff like that there, and then you pass away, and then your gift, you can't really use that their gift again. So this is why reproduce is very, very important. So reproduce, say if you're a singer who then you make an album, this is how you're going to reproduce your gift. Then the third part of this is distribute. So then you distribute your album, and then you make sure and control it so that no one can really copy you and things get here. Another example of this here would be McDonald's. So say McDonald's, they produce Big Macs, then they reproduce it through franchises, and then they distribute it because they're in the system, they're in the business of systems and real estate, and then no one else can make Big Macs. So this is like part 3 of speaking the language of money. Now part 4 is basically when everybody basically you don't know what you don't know. But in part 4 of the language of money is that most people think when they get money then they spend it and get things. So you have money, then you get things, you have money, you get things, and no one ever really gets to ideas. Now this is what most people think, like most people do, is when they get money they get things. But what you want to do is you want to switch this round, and you want to start off with ideas. So you want to take the idea and then you want to make a thing with your idea that makes you money. So an example of this would be, really your thing could be your business. So your business or something like that there, and you want to be in an environment that's conducive to generating good ideas. This is why very, very successful people will pay a lot of money to be in a room with other really successful people, because they get really good ideas, and ideas that they would never have got if they weren't doing these types of things. So it's very important to be in an environment where you get good ideas. And if you're an entrepreneur and you're doing online business and stuff like that, entrepreneurs really solve problems. So your idea should come from solving a problem. So when you have an idea about solving a problem, then you take that idea and you make a thing with it, and your thing could be your business, and then your business makes you money. And this is the 4 parts of speaking the language of money. I hope you really like this video. I learned it from a great community that I'm going to leave a direct link from below, and you can go and have a look at all that, what that community is about. It's really a community for digital entrepreneurs to come and get inspired and learn and get new ideas and become great at what it is they do. And if you really like this video, my friend, make sure and subscribe to the channel. I've left a link below as well. You can hit the subscribe, and I hope to see you inside the community and things like that there. And that was everything for this video. Hope you liked it on the 4 steps on speaking the language of money that I learned from a great community that I'm going to leave a link to below. And have a great day. I'll see you again soon. Peace.